And we're back here on KFYO Mornings with Dave King and Matt Martin. We want to get right to the phones because we have our Congressman Jodey Arrington on line one. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good to be with you.
No, we're glad you're here. We don't have a lot of time, but of course the pressing issue, I guess, on most people, or one of the big pressing issues is what is happening with all this investigation in Donald Trump. We're hearing one thing and then another.
Well, there's it's like a soap opera, and it's one of those sort of one of the dramas that replays every day in D.C. and I try to do my best to stay focused on getting farm bills passed and funding the government and the things that the American people actually expect us to do while we're here. At the same time, you know, there are, when people do things violating the law or campaign finance rules, there should be consequence to that. But there's no collusion. There's no evidence of collusion between the president and Russia. That was the whole point of this investigation, which was, by the way, launched because of some opposition research by the Democratic National Committee and the Hillary Clinton campaign. $40+ million, 2 years of this investigation, and there's still no evidence of collusion.
Hey, the evidence of collusion points to Hillary Clinton colluding, as far as I can tell.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the DNC, and not just Hillary Clinton and the DNC, but also the top brass of the FBI and the Department of Justice, who knowingly sent information to the FISA courts to spy on American people, knowing that it was a bogus a bunch of information, and even Comey admitted it wasn't legitimate. So I agree with you, man, 100%. And we're going to just see more of this, guys, as the Nancy Pelosi-led House makes its way to the beginning of the next Congress, the 116th. And it's not going to be good for the American people. It's not. The president will not be impeached. There's no impeachable offense there. It's just more sidetracking and stalling of this president's agenda, which we all believe is the agenda to get our country back. But unfortunately, that's what we're going to be looking at, I think, in the next couple of years.
Okay, Congressman, let's if we can switch gears a little bit. We've got a farm bill that's trying to go through. Are we going to be able to get it through before the Democrats take over?
I believe we will. In fact, I got a call from Chairman Conaway just yesterday, and, you know, I'm on the conference committee to reconcile the House and Senate versions of the farm bill, and I'm reading through the conference report right now to make sure there's no surprises. But if it is as I read it before, I plan on signing it. And I think we're going to get a vote either Wednesday or Thursday and get it to the president by the end of the week. So the good news is for our producers, for our farmers and ranchers, and for the ag economy and for food security in the United States, a farm bill is on its way, and it's going to be a Republican-led farm bill. If we weren't able to do it, Matt, Dave, the pen would be to Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. That would have been a disaster. This is a great farm bill on the farm ag policy side. It's a weaker farm bill on the welfare to work reforms for food stamps, but you know, we got to take the half a loaf because it's better than no loaf or the loaf that would have been baked by the Democrats.
Yeah, I was going to say
the next session.
Democrats take over, and all of a sudden, food stamps gets expanded.
Yeah, because in one thing I want to note, and to that point, all of these improvements, whether it with cotton back in the farm bill, the safety net, critical infrastructure, broadband technology in rural America, et cetera, all of those things were budget neutral. We won't be spending a dime or a dollar more than we did in the 2014 Farm Bill. That's significant for fiscal conservatives like me and like most of my constituents and your listeners.
Okay. Well, Congressman, let's go ahead and take a break so that we have some time on the other side to talk about trade.
You bet.
All right. Thanks, Congressman.
And we're back here on KFYO Mornings with Dave and Matt, and back on the phones with Congressman Jodey Arrington. Congressman, quick question. Do you think that we will get that wall funded before the January and the Democrats take control of the House?
I sure hope so, because it's an issue of national security, and I think that we as a country, Republicans and Democrats both, should make those things that involve public safety a priority, and we should put politics aside. Unfortunately, the wall is a third rail for Democrats, and Chuck Schumer seems to be digging his heels in, and Nancy Pelosi calls having a wall immoral, which is upside down as I can imagine leadership being on that side. $5 billion is what the president's asking for.
No, that's
$5
billion
enough.
won't fund it, will it?
No, it won't. It's about a $25 billion proposition. But he just wants enough to begin the work, I think, and come back for more payments, if you will, installments as we progress. But
well, why wouldn't you go ahead and just fund the whole thing instead of $5 billion at a time?
Well, I just think it's the political reality. I think even in the House, Dave, we tried to get an immigration/border security reform bill passed, and we couldn't get all Republicans to agree. Obviously, I voted for it. It gave all $25 billion for the wall in both bills, but we couldn't get all Republicans to agree, and we couldn't get to the magic 2018 to pass it and get it to the Senate. But regardless of what we do in the House, as long as that 60-vote rule is there in the Senate, you're going to have to negotiate with Democrats. And I don't know what they want, probably just a lot more spending, but because that's what they wanted for us to be able to fund our troops adequately. But we'll see how it plays out. I know our team is negotiating with the other side to get that $5 billion. I just think it's a steep hill to climb. We'll see. Again, I support it. But, in some ways, it's being negotiated by the four corners of leadership in the House and Senate.
Okay, Congressman, as far as that's concerned, if you do get the $5 billion pushed through, the Democrats take the House, they have control of the purse, will they be able to zero that out just on a whim?
No, they won't. They won't, because the Senate's our backstop. In fact, the Senate's been a huge barrier, even with Republican majority. But it's not Republican control. If you have a 60-vote rule in the Senate, then that doesn't mean we have control, because you have to negotiate with about 10 Democrats to get anything done. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what comes out of the House, it seems, unless you're doing reconciliation, which is how we got tax reform through. You're going to have to negotiate in the Senate. So, no, they won't be able to just unilaterally pull monies out of the Homeland Security or any apparatus there in the federal government.
All right. Well, Congressman, unfortunately, we ran out of time, but thank you so much for coming on and telling us what's going on. Thank you,
guys. Thank y'all. God bless. Go West Texas. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks.
Have a good day.